No matter the struggle, the amount of energy that's required to reach your goal, the fact is, no matter how many times that you slip, how many times you fall down, get knocked down, even knockouts, you don't worry about that type of stuff. You just keep moving, keep pursuing your dreams and goals. And that's one thing I can say about boxing. With all sports, I will look at other sports and they're interesting, but me, boxing is a different kind of sport. I love it. I love being involved in it. And now I'm just, instead of just sitting on the sidelines, I'm ready to actually be part of being in the ring, fighting in the ring. I say that the amount of time that I put into boxing may not see me shadow boxing outside, but I put a lot of time shadow boxing in the house. I put a lot of time in. Before we go into just the physical aspect of boxing, you got to understand that boxing, like any sport, it starts mentally. So if you're defeated mentally, then you're going to be defeated before you even face an opponent. The biggest opponent you will ever face in any boxing match or any event that you do in life, you take further, the biggest opponent you will ever face will be yourself. And that may sound cliche, but it is true. The biggest opponent you will ever face will be you, because you know you. And sometimes you're finding more about yourself each day, but you know you, and you know your biggest fears, and your past failures, and even your past successes will always try to keep you back, keep you from progressing forward. So the biggest thing you must learn whenever you're doing any pursuit, whether it's a degree in college or boxing or swimming, whatever, any pursuit that you're doing, is to never get comfortable and to always stay hungry. I remember I was looking at a documentary, and George Foreman, I think one thing I liked about George Foreman was that he said he always stayed hungry. It didn't matter the competition, what he always stayed hungry. And it didn't matter about his age. He got back in the ring at an older age, and people doubted him. He was like, nah, you, man, you can't do it. You know, they made jokes about that. He wouldn't get back in the ring, but he said, nah, I'm not doing it. I know what a goal to reach, because he had something he was fighting for more than just a title. He actually was trying to build back a community center that he wanted to build, so he had a bigger motivation. I think that's one thing that makes any athlete or anybody that stands out, if they are fighting or winning for something bigger than themselves, that's what separates you from becoming an athlete, becoming iconic, because you have a bigger goal than yourself. Whenever I was 10 years old, the movie that I watched that really inspired me to want to get into boxing was Ali. It was a movie based on Muhammad Ali's life experience, and Will Smith played that part well. I thought he did an excellent job. Of course, I was 10 years old, and I was inspired by it. After that, I was shadow boxing and things like that. And my dad, I didn't know at the time that he had how much he went into boxing, but then he started like practicing with us, me and my brothers, and I used to have this huge punching bag downstairs, and I was so dedicated that sometimes, and this is kind of a norm, but sometimes I'd be punching on the punching bag, and my other siblings are trying to watch TV, and I was just going at it, and it's like, hey, Amon, stop, boy, I'll go over there and punch you. And it was like, and it got into that, but the main thing was that there was dedication in the practice, and that's one thing that you never want to sacrifice in your practicing is dedication. You want to treat your practicing as if you are actually in the ring. If you don't have a way of getting access to a gym or sparring partners, you still want to practice just as much, even harder, even more so, because a lot of times, if you don't have partners and stuff, people will kind of underestimate you and think, oh, well, they never been hit before, and they'll underestimate your experience. But that's where your training becomes unorthodox. You start going by different measures of just training, hitting hard surfaces. I know sometimes, like in the beginning of the video, you saw me hitting the light pole. That's one of the things I do if I don't have a punching bag with me, or a portable punching bag. Sometimes taking a medicine ball and, using that to dropping it on your stomach and things like that. There's just different ways that you're hardening your body. But you can, like I said, you can do all the hardening of your body, whatever. But if your mental is not toughened up and people's words can get to you, that's how a lot of fighters, they lose bouts before they even get into the ring, because it's like, well, somebody's already, they've looked on social media and what people thought about them, and just this, that, and the other, and everything that people are saying, letting their ego get in the way too. And as I said before, it can be past successes can blind them from the present moment, and that's a horrible thing to do. If your past success blinds you from your future goals or your present moment, then you won't have a future goal, you have a future failure. That's why I always say, if you live in your past success, there's only room to regress. And so boxing is also about finding balance. So even in this part of the video, I'm balancing on the medicine ball. That's one of the things I try to do too, is finding balance, being able to punch and being on center when you're punching and things like that. That's what really can help. And not only that, but even if you're like, when your guard is up whenever you're boxing, you also want to guard your rib cage and things like that. So these is all different technical aspects that when you study boxing, it's more than just being able to throw a punch in the air, but you really start studying how you want to train and how you want to perfect your technique, because probably somebody's watching your technique. You might practice in public just so that, people are watching your technique, but you're able to be faster at your technique than what they saw. And so there's different mental things you can do and physical exercise and things you can do to train yourself to become a better boxer. And this one, I was punching the medicine ball, which, by the way, if you can, I think it's a really good way of practicing your uppercuts and punching powers. Just taking the medicine ball and just punching it in the air, letting it try to drop, and be able to catch it in the air with your fist and things like that. Just flipping it, those type of things that really help with your reflexes, your strength and power, all that good stuff. So whatever you do in your boxing training, just be dedicated, stay dedicated to it. All right.